somehow the other, every day was a sale. It was a sale though, but we had an agreement that we weren't gonna buy nothing. We gonna save the money, for a month or whatever. We won't buy nothing, but it was a sale. It was a sale. What a sale. We had said we weren't gonna buy nothing. So me, I'm holding up my end of the bargain. I won't buy nothing.
Right.
But this chick here, and then she tried to sneak it in like I won't go find it. I got a anointing where I smell new stuff. she done went in before me trying to hide that stuff. And I've been holding something smell new around here. I'm smelling something around. And sure enough, she done hid the outfit in the back of the closet. Like I won't go find it.
And they gonna tell, oh baby, I been had that. I heard that before.
Well, some of it I did. Yeah.
Don't you shame the devil.
But I will say, now, my wife, and I tell anybody, and I tell all my friends, my wife is a better budgeter than I am.
Yeah.
My wife squeaks when she walks. I mean, she's tight. I mean, my wife can tell me where every penny goes, down to the T.
That's good.
Whereas with me, you give me $100, in 10 minutes, I can't tell you what I did with it. Yeah, because and to me, I know I went in this store and this store and this store, but I don't have nothing to show for the $100. But with her, she's a better budget, so I let her handle that. That's her expertise.
Yeah.
Now, God forbid if anything happened to her, and then they got to look at me to pay all this stuff, something's gonna have to give.
But that's enough. I'm glad you brought. And that's what we teach when we deal with couples and things. What making sure your spouse knows. Taking 1 month out of the day out of the month to make sure that you bring them up to par with where everything is, how things are handled.
Right.
Because if you have to go to the hospital, things like that, that spouse should still have some type of foreknowledge on how to operate. And a lot of times we just lean it just on one side instead of teaching each other's skills and gifts. So that you can both be harmed in those areas.
You're right, but I slipped in that. When my wife was in the hospital, had the baby, and we couldn't have a vaginal, we had to have a C-section.
Yeah.
We bought the cell phone, the laptop. She was paying bills on the bed. She was trying to tell me, take this card and do this, and do this. And I'm like, why don't you just do it? So take the laptop to the hospital. She laying in the bed. Your fingers were still working. Everybody was working, and she handled it.
My husband put 100 on 10. He ain't gonna bring the.
But she did have. She was paying bills with her cell phone. Everything still got paid. But you're right. Not that I don't think that it's not that I think that I can't do it. It's just that she's better at it.
Understood.
And she's just better, and then there's other things in the house that I'm better at. I'm like you, I'm the cook in my house,
I don't cook.
I don't think you can have
Everybody be like, what we going to eat?
And so, and
Did you
that's...
hear what he just said?
I just started. I say it again. I'm the cook in my house, and I don't think bitches can outcook me. That's all.
I missed all of that.
What's I saying?
You have to have a cook-off.
Yeah, it's a cook-off. Ain't no but space and opportunity.
A crock pot over there.
A crock pot and a roaster. Hey.
He don't want none of this. He don't want none of this now. I'm acting like I didn't hear that. You don't want none of that. You don't want none of it. He don't want none of it.
Bishop, you fun.
Say the word. Say the word.
Ministry shall not destroy marriage. Okay.
Ain't gonna start a kitchen either.
Men are so competitive.
Yes.
We wanted to talk about one more subject. We just saw on Facebook, I think it was yesterday, a pastor's, a bishop's wife. She showed herself on Facebook where he had hit her, blood was streaming down. She was bandaged up. And she said, we're not trying to basically belittle him or talk about him, but he has anger issues, and she put the picture up. I mean, you saw she was bleeding.
He tore up Jesus.
Yeah, and then you saw, I mean, because a lot of times we don't want to talk about that, but I think that the church should hear us and the world should hear us on how we feel about that. Because the enemy tries to depict that our marriages are dysfunctional. All our marriages are not dysfunctional.
That's right.
And even if we have some dysfunction, the Word of God helps us to bring it into a functional situation. But she had no other choice. She had to, because they were going to side with she was wrong, you know. So she's bleeding, her head is bandaged. And what I found comforting was her husband's reformation, his covering. He, on Facebook, sends out a letter and says that we do not condone this. Call him brother. He's no longer a bishop in our fellowship until after they finish the court case. By no means should, and it goes both ways, no means should a man hit his wife, and no means should a wife hit her husband. Because I've seen some women who,
That's right.
I mean,
I was one of them, and I gotta be honest. I got to be honest. I would lash out on this man, but see, the thing about it is, when you have those issues, you have to make sure that you get godly counsel. Counsel makes us wise, and it is when we feel like we're too deep, or we're too spiritual, or we're too something, or whatever, that we don't get that help, and that things like that happen, and now it's public. And now not only are you destroying your own family, you're destroying many families, you know. And so, I mean, I had to get that help with my anger, with my temper, and God has delivered me. Thank you, God, that I don't have to do that, you know, that crazy stuff that I used to do anymore, you know. I mean, because it's not helpful. I mean, you know, like you said, we were still getting to know each other in our marriage, and so communication was horrible. And so, you know, not that I am justifying anger, because I'm not. But when you have a temper and you feel like you're pushed into a corner, and the only way that you can get heard is by lashing out, and the only way that you can get heard is by screaming and hollering. I've had this problem since I was younger, you know. So this is not something that just happened because I was married. No, this was an issue that I had to be delivered from, you know. And I think that a lot of people, they have to understand their own issues. You know, it's not always just the spouse, and we always lash out on the people who are closest to us. And it wasn't until I think I had, did I have Nathan, or did I not have Nathan? I can't remember. But I was just like, I can't raise children and be the way that I am. And so I started going to counseling. I didn't even ask him to come with me. I went for myself. And I allow, and see, the thing about it, we can know the word, we can know a whole bunch of words, you know, oh yeah, the Bible says, you know, be angry, but sin not. Yeah, we can know a whole lot of stuff. Oh yeah, the soft answers turn the way right. We can know all of that scripture. But it is not until we allow that word to transform us.
Come on.
Because I'm sure that he's the bishop, he got to know some word. But it's not until we allow the word to actually transform us till we can actually be a living example of what deliverance is to other people.
Thank you for being transparent. It's real.
It is.
And oftentimes we don't have an outlet of who to talk to. I mean, we counsel on a regular. You'll be surprised how as clergy we minister out, but we have nobody to pour into us. And just have a real moment.
Right.
And then also people being honest about where you are, you know. And if you do have anger and things of that nature, and then sometimes what you sing, you know, sometimes me and Bishop talk, we be like, Lord, it's the grace of God, because I my side of the family is very strong, dominant women. Woo! You know, ain't nobody marriage slaves, you know. Thank God we roll on 17 years strong.
She got the right one.
He ain't going for
She had the right one. Amen.
He's not going, but at the same time, like you said, making that conscious decision that I'm not going to let this dysfunction follow me.
And as you said, when we seek counsel, and as you were saying, you counsel, a lot of times as leaders and as pastors, leaders, deacons, trustees, anyone that's in a leadership role, the problem is that I think is a number one problem for them is when they're transparent. People take that and use it against them. So, and the church has been that place that has taken my mess, my weaknesses that I'm coming to with in my past, and they keep throwing that up, and it just hurts them. So then when people don't know how to or who to go and talk to, that's when they get the results that they get. Now, the bishop was wrong.
Yes, he was.
He was very much wrong. But the dysfunction that he had, you know, did he have an outlet to go to? Like you said, we as leaders, we pour out to everybody, we hear everybody else's issues, but then you say, well, who's going to help me with my issue? And my wife and I have said that. Who's going to help us? You know, because, you know, being very real and very transparent, we all have some issues and some dysfunctionals in our marriage. I don't care how long you've been married. You know, there's still some things that we're still working on and still trying to tweak and fine tune. But in the midst of that, we need godly counsel to help us with that and to be real. Hey, Bishop, Apostle, this is our issue. Help me with this. You know, and talk about it, and don't try to sugarcoat it. Don't try to fix it up. Well, you know, I thought I did. No, this is what I did. You know, and I messed up. Now help me. But we, and a lot of times as men, you know, I can say about men because I'm one. You know, our pride comes in the way. Men in the 51 countries, stop letting your pride come in the way. Ask for help.
That's right.
You know, I don't care how old you are, we need help.
That's right. That's right.
You know,
and also men need to hold men accountable.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Because you know, sometimes I be like, if another brother would check another brother, like another brother know when you ain't doing your right. So why somebody else got to say something? Why that brother can't go, man, you know you ought to hold that door open for your wife. Man, you know your wife had naughty. Get that girl a person.
Not a just for me, but a super. Not for the regular. Super.
You know, that type of brotherhood. That I am my brother.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
You're right. And you know, and I'm so glad you said it because the Lord has allowed me. I never had that. I never had that. You know, I had associates and people that I could go talk to. But you know, the Lord has placed me with some brothers that they do check me. And sometimes I might not, you know, and I got one sitting in the audience, sometimes I might not like him checking me, you know, and I hang up and might not call him for a couple of days, you know, but once I, you know, stifle it, and I appreciate it, and vice versa, we do that for one another. You know, we have brothers that we check one another, even when I mess up, Curry, you know, you messed up, but guess what, we're still here for you. You know, we're going to support you, and this is what you need to do. You know, and so like you said, we need to hold each other accountable, you know, of our marriages and helping one another. And ain't nothing wrong with it, men.
That's right.
In the 51 states, 51 countries, there's nothing wrong with, you know, someone helping you and someone holding you accountable, because that's what brothers do.
Well, and also to add on to that, not only just brothers, but spouses as well.
Right.
Because truth be told, that won't the first time that happened.
Right. You're right.
And so when do we, because see, in my opinion, you know, we don't tolerate that physical abuse as well as emotional abuse, because that's just as bad.
Right.
That's just as bad. But physically, when it gets to the point that you lay your hand on it the first time, hey, we need to go ahead and deal with that issue right there the first time.
Yes.
We don't. Because you know, I told Apostle, you know, don't put your hands on it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I had to let her know the first time.
That's right.
You know, I'm saying early in our marriage.
Early on, you gotta let them know, Bishop.
Because I'm not gonna put my hands on you.
Yeah.
Beat up my ear.
I'm not. You got some.
I might run my mouth.
But I had to let them. Hey, listen, no.
That's right.
That's not what. Cause see, I don't know what they were doing on her side of the family, you know. But I know they were a little different, you know.
My mom's right there. Stop it.
Yeah, I know. She heard me say that before.
But you know, I felt the same way, Bishop. You know, my wife would go on those tangents. I said, wait a minute, your mama ain't like that. You know, I ain't thinking. I wasn't living at 275 College. But you know, I said, Mama, I never saw that. You know, but those are things, like you said, we had to deal with. And one thing, not to cut you off, one thing you said as couples, we need other godly couples to go to. And don't go seek no single person that is not married for no counsel. You know, go
Somebody
get.
married who broke down.
Yes.
Yeah.
I need someone that marriage is
I'm gonna
thriving.
go back to that part where when it first happened, go get help right then and there.
Yes. Yes.
And that's why I was saying, you know, I had to let that be known. Look, we don't put our hands on each other. You wasn't that raised, no punching bag.
Yeah.
I won't either.
That's right. That's right.
And so you don't hit me, and I'm not gonna hit you. You know. Now if you just forget. I might let it go one time.
Yeah, just one. Just one. I might let you throw one pop, one time, but don't try it again.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Yeah.
And then I think, and then that also goes to the part where we were saying where you go get counseling and brotherly love and all that. But sisters, if your husband beating you and you got some brothers, go let them know.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. We don't talk. And then the men, if your wife beating you, you got some sisters, go tell her.
Now, Bishop, unless it's some of that good beating, you know, good spanking.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Little patty cake here, patty cake there.
It's getting good though.
Bang, y'all back it up. You know, hey, bang. Every now and then you do a little. You
No, it gotta be more than every now and then. It gotta be more than every now. How about Monday, Wednesday, and Friday,
Saturday, and Sunday?
Yeah. And every day on Sunday. Hey, what's up? Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with the booty.
No wrong with that.
It's a blessing in the booty.
Yes.
And see, I think we as believers, we ought to talk about that a lot more because see that, and then everybody. I say this all the time.
We deep.
That's why the divorce rate is so high in the church.
Yeah.
Because folks don't want to talk about the sex.
Yeah.
They don't want to talk about it.
They're too deep.
Yeah.
We're very intimate.
No, it ain't deep. It's just that they
ain't doing
they
that.
have been trained and taught.
They ain't doing that.
Yeah. You got right about that.
They're doing that.
If someone wanted to get in contact with you, how could they get in
How you
contact?
gonna cut it off when you get good?
If you want to contact me, dial 555-555-555. No. It's them, y'all. I'm telling you, I don't act like this all the time. It's 100%.
This is gonna be great.
If you ever want to reach us, Kingdom Living Ministries, our number is 757-541-0424. You can find us on Facebook. Within the next week or so, you'll be able to find us at kingdomlivingministries.church. We have our website up and going. It's going to be in full throttle. kingdomlivingministries.church. You'll see us there. Our website is Kingdom Living Ministries. All of our functions are there. Events that are going on is on Facebook as well. We take advantage of the free advertising.
Thank you, Facebook.
We thank you for tuning in to Ministry Shall Not Destroy My Marriage. We thank the Currys for being with us. Yes, we thank for Kingdom Ministries.
Oh yeah.
As well. I want to thank my lovely wife, Apostle Hunter. Yes,
Bishop, before we go, before you and Apostle, if you had to impart something into us at 6 years, that you're embarking on your 17th year, what would it be?
Marriage-wise?
Yes. And then ministry.
well,
Because you helping us too. Y'all been at this 17 years.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get there. And I know it ain't always been easy, but you're still there.
yeah,
You know,
well,
so
I'm going to tell you, Doc. Get the booty freely, Doc.
God.
Booty's good, amen.
gotta love the booty.
God, it's crazy, man. Look at him.
I might go home tonight and get some booty.
That's right, do anything she wants you to do. Amen.
Your mama and all, that's how you got here. Tell God thank you.
But seriously though, get the booty as often as you can. Oh yeah, they know about that stuff. But seriously, now everybody know you tell me to do. I'm gonna do the opposite, you know. So yeah, I'll take another 15 minutes. Talk about this good thing here. But seriously though, enjoy each other.
That's it.
You know, enjoy each other. Take the time out to do things together. Date night. Go hang out. Cut ministry off. Because really, truth be told, marriage is your first ministry. Right. Then come to church. So I would say love each other, compromise, and just go and have fun. Go and have fun. And I'm a fun man. I love to have fun, and I think when you're happy with yourself, you'll be happy with her.
Right.
You know. So my words of encouragement to you all for your marriage is enjoy each other. Do not allow family, friends to get in between this. You know, God created you all for one another. So you all enjoy each other. Make time for each other. For real, this comes first. That comes first. Everything else don't even matter. It don't even matter. And when I had to learn it the hard way, this came first. I cut engagements. I cut concerts. I cut playing for folks because it was affecting this here. Right. So when this comes first, everything else gonna be all right. That's right. That's my little piece. I ain't even gonna charge you for that.
Master communicating. Goal set. I think we went out 3 weeks ago, and we goal set for 2015. That's so important. We goal set for our personal, we goal set as a married couple, and then we goal set as a ministry. Because
wow,
sometimes you can lose yourself in the marriage, and then you can lose yourself doing ministry.
Yes.
And there's still things that you want to accomplish as an individual. The next thing we did, we made sure that most of the time, if you see us, we do it together.
yeah.
We purposely do that so that it doesn't allow the enemy to get in and divide. Neither does it allow us to see ourselves as trying to compete with one another. You may not be trying to do it, but people will who the preacher? They will do those things to kind of undermine your relationship. And so we do a lot together. The next piece is like with HP, I get up under him and I'm his support system. You won't see me out front, but I've learned to assist him with what he's doing, and he's learned to assist me if it's something that I'm doing, and then we have those things we do together. But we've mastered communicating and setting goals, and then helping each other
push that vision.
And that has been one of the most, we are the hunters.
Hey. All right.
Seeing each other as a team, and really, from a spiritual perspective, you see that with you all, and what God is. Even as you're getting ready to walk into the pastorate, that's going to be so important that you all define your roles.
Yeah.
Exactly what each of you will be doing in ministry, and master that communicating. No matter what, always talk, whether it's something you want to talk about or don't. Because the more informed you make each other, the enemy can't get in.
That's
right.
That's right.
And the rest, God will continue to just bless. Amen.
And then another thing is this, and I have a T-shirt. Actually, we sell T-shirts that says, "I take care of my spouse before I leave the house." So
I mean, I take care of
you gotta take care of her before you leave the house.
Take care.
And the reason why, if you don't, and that's sexually, emotionally, mentally. Tell her she look good before you leave the house. You know, give her something before she leave the house. That way, you know.
That's right.
No, I'm just saying. You go, because when they get out there, I already know that there are other men trying to tell her, "Oh, you look good. You know, baby, you look good," and it don't really faze her because she heard that from me before she left out of that house.
That's right.
But the problem is we have a lot of folks that don't tell their spouses that, "Baby, you look good, you sexy, you smell good," or, you know, "I love you, I appreciate you." And when these other men start saying that, it don't have to be nothing but a little inkling for it to build and grow.
That's right.
So if you don't give them that space, if somebody else telling my woman, hey, she look good, she already heard it from me, so it doesn't affect her. It's non-void. But if I didn't tell her that, somebody said, "Hey, you look good," The first time, you know, she keep on going. But after a while,
Right.
it's gonna start singing in, and then you're gonna have them avenues to start slipping up, you know.
And then I'm gonna have to go to them jobs and help somebody.
What you have to do?
To walk in there.
No, we gotta do
Not pleasant be known.
when you get home.
I am Mr. Curry.
Hard dog. You gotta
Y'all are crazy, man.
You're right. Cause my wife came home one day and said, "Look, the little old men at work talking about." She looked nice. I said, "Them old white men." She talking about, "They don't like me and nothing like that." So let me go up there. So I walked up there one day, took some flowers. I'm here. And look, the lady said, "Do you want me to go get your wife?" I said, "No, let me go to her desk myself." So I walked on down the hallway to the cubicle, and I stood right there and I looked. And I said, "How you doing, Tim? How you doing, so and so?" And they said, "Oh, Lee, that's your husband." "Yes, it is."
Yes, it is. Yes, sir. But you got to take care of your spouse before y'all leave the house.
Have fun.
Yes, sir. And then you won't have to worry about throwing a rock across the roof when you go through the front door. And if somebody say, "Ouch," you go to the man today.
Jody done got your girl and gone.
Did y'all have a good time tonight?
Now, I will say one thing, and I have to say this about the hunters. I don't care what they do. They will support your ministry. I mean, these people will push your ministry more than you push your own ministry. I mean, they flood their Facebook pages, weeks after weeks after weeks. I mean, anything that they're doing that I have seen them, and I thank God for you all. I mean, y'all push it. I mean, and y'all just push ministry. I mean, if you're preaching in another country, you push that church like it's your own church, you know, and it's great. So please, y'all post this. Post it on Facebook. Post it. You know, telephone, telegram. I ain't gonna tell you the rest, but you know, it's get the word out. Get it out. You know, y'all got them Twitters, them chat accounts and all that stuff. Yeah, put it all out there.
And what's cool is when you do tune in on the show on Saturday, there is a chat where you can chat to people all over the world.
Yeah, we be
so
cutting
that's
up
really
on
cool.
the chat room too.
Oh Lord.
And this will also air on radio, and I believe it's 91,000? 91,000 that tune in on the radio. So we're excited. Make a little noise about it. Good stuff.
We would like to thank you for viewing this week's airing of Ministry Shall Not Destroy My Marriage. In order to purchase your book, visit our website today at www.gatministries.com. We also challenge all of our viewers to make a donation today to Thai TV as they continue to spread the gospel across the nation. We would also like to welcome you to listen to the Ministry Shall Not Destroy My Marriage radio show every Tuesday at 1 p.m. at www.thevoiceradio.com.